You know, it seems like just yesterday we started this podcast. But guess what, guys? Today is episode 100. I made my goal. Made it to 100 days in this podcast. And, it's really been exciting. It's been a tough journey. Won't say that it was easy at all. There was a lot of times where I really didn't think that I was going to make it to 100 episodes, but we made it, and we're here. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for anybody who shared, listened, done any of that type of stuff. I really, really, really appreciate it. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. So without further ado, I'm going to give you guys some inside track of some things that I found to be helpful this week. Haven't really talked about it, but tonight we're going to talk about it a little bit. All right. So I'm a big notebook guy, right? Anytime I start a new project, I get a new notebook. And you look around my house, there's notebooks everywhere, right? It's kind of cool because, like, when I lose one and then it pops back up, it's like being able to look at an old relic, right? I see that a lot of ideas really haven't changed sometimes and all of those types of things. And I try to use it to stay organized, but it doesn't always work that well, right? My brain moves at 1,000,000 miles a minute. There's always something. I'm always looking at new business ideas, new this, new that, old this, old that. How do I revamp this old thing to make it what I'm all over the place. And I'm just being honest. Like, I am. Organizationally, I'm all over the place, and I have, and I struggle with that. So I'm not sure who I was talking to, what I was. I think I was listening to something, and I was listening to this. I'm listening to this it was a podcast. And in the podcast, the co-host was talking about how he stays organized and how he stays on track. And he said that he has a daily meeting with himself. And he calls it meditation, but he has a daily meeting with himself. Right? And I was like, that would be interesting. Now, I've got, like I said, I got 1,000,000 things going on at any given moment. Flying through 1,000,000 things going on at any given moment. So, I said, you know what? Let me give this a try. And I said, well, if I have a meeting with myself, and I had been trying to do it for a while, trying to sit down and organize thoughts and everything like that. And for some reason, I like trying to organize things like in my life versus organizing a business. Like, it's two totally different things. Like, I can sit down and write out a basic business plan, business, organization. Like, I can do that at the drop of a hat. It's not a difficult process for me at all. But once I get that skeleton of the business, and then organizing and trying to do the things to beef up the skeleton, to put some meat on the bones. Once I do that, I'll get stuck. And sometimes I've been stuck for months trying to put meat on the bones of this skeleton. Right? Trying to beef this thing up, trying to go through steps and everything like that. And it's been a real eye opener, because I have been able to be productive and what I feel to be a little more present in my family's life, which is great. And so I know, long-winded explanation or start. Hey, I just want to know how you're being or getting more organized. I'm really struggling with that. All right, here we go. Now, if anyone has a Gmail account or anything like that, iPhone or Android phone, it doesn't matter. Okay, you need to download Google Docs. Okay, and I'm sure you're like, well, what am I going to do with Google Docs and how's that going to help me organize? Stay with me. Now, in the Google Docs, there is a voice typing or a transcription mode setting, whatever you want to call it. Now, I initially started out with Otter.ai. That's how I initially started with it. It really wasn't working that great for me. And I'm giving you guys this because it's a free. I'm giving you Google Docs because it's free, right? It's a free thing if you got a Gmail account, right? So, all right. So you're going to take the Google Docs. You're going to turn on the transcribe function if you have it on your phone. Turn it on. You could do it on. I believe that you can do it on the actual website. I use this directly from my iPhone because I typically always have my iPhone. I don't necessarily always have my computer. So I did this from my iPhone. I hooked up my same lavalier mic and everything like that, just like I used to record for the podcast. I hooked that up and I hit the transcribe button. And I held a business meeting with myself. Right? And some people may think it's weird. Some people may think it's different. It doesn't really matter. Really doesn't matter. I held a business meeting with myself. And what I did in that meeting that I had, in my vocal meditation, I won't say it was a private meditation. What I did in my vocal meditation was I talked about everything that was going on. So I talked about what was going on in the business. I talked about what was going on in my family, like things that I wanted to do as far as spending time. Like I talked about all of those different things, right? And every time I've done it, it's been about anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. Quick. That's a drive in the car. That's the quick. Do you hear me, guys? Very, 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 very quick. And so I did about 10, 15 minutes, and I talked about everything that I needed to talk about. What needed to happen for the school, what needed to happen for the shop, what I need to do for my clients, what I need to do for the family, what I need to do, who I'm looking for in some of my employees that I'm looking for. Like I did all of this stuff, so I'm just talking about it. Boom, 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 boom. The same way I'm talking to you guys right now, that's how I talked. That's how I held my meeting, right? Exact same way. And so I just let it roll. Boom, 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 boom. I wasn't trying to be formal. I was trying to get the ideas out of my head and in somewhere written down, recorded. So I'm boom, 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 boom. I'm pushing all of this information out. Okay? And I end the meeting. I end the meeting. I'm done. I got everything out. I couldn't think of anything else. I got everything out. Boom, it's done. Like I said, 10, 15 minutes, I'm done. Right? Now, because I was able to get all of my ideas out and everything like that, I didn't need my typical hour or 2 hours to prep to get organized to do work. Right? I did it in 15 minutes. I took everything that was on my mind. I spoke it into my mic. It Google Docs transcribed it for me. I did everything I needed to do. Got it all out. And then I took that transcription and I went over to ChatGPT, right? I went over to ChatGPT. If you don't have ChatGPT, if you don't have Google Docs, what are you doing? You need those things. Everybody who's super busy or talking about they're busy, whatever, you need those things. So I took it over to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT, I said, hey, can you organize this transcription into actionable items? Right? Organize it into a list of things that I can do. Organize it by category into actionable items. And guess what? In a matter of seconds, I had an entire list of things that I needed to do for the day. And if I'm looking at today's notes, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I had 21 things on the list. Of the 21 things on the list, I didn't do 2 of them. I didn't do 2 of 21 things. I wasn't able to get to 2 of those things. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. My lists are like this every day, or longer. My mental list, what lives in my brain, those lists are that 20 plus or longer of a list of things to do for the day. Now, I'm going to say this. For my list to be that long daily, guess what? Most of it is carryover for days, for weeks sometimes, because I can't get the things organized the way that I want it. So I start on it, but I don't finish it. I start on it, but I don't finish it. And so I'm working, I'm chipping away at it, but I'm chipping away at it a lot slower, which causes me to be very, very frustrated because I want to get things done, because I understand that moving with efficiency and speed is good, right? Now, what I'll say is this: what ChatGPT was able to do by asking it to give me actionable items, things that I can accomplish, things that I can do. What it was able to do was to break those what seemed like big tasks down into little tasks. So I'm like, boom, all right, I'm gonna knock this out, I'm gonna knock this out, I'm gonna knock this out, I'm gonna knock this out. And it actually cut down on my work time of what needed to be done. It allowed me to move a lot faster in what needed to be done. And honestly, I'm going to say this. It kind of freed my brain up from thinking about how I was going to do certain things, right? Instead of thinking about like, hey, I need to do this, but inside of that, I need to do this step, this step, this step, this step, this step. How am I going to do this step, this step, this step, this step, this step? I held my meeting. I said what needed to be done. It gave me actionable items. I took action on those items. I did all those things, and it was like, wow. And before you knew it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, like today, I just started working on stuff. I had already had my notes. I had already had everything written out, but I did it so fast, and then I just started working on stuff because I had some easier stuff that I could do beforehand. Now, I had skimmed over it and kind of seen what the list was and everything like that, but I didn't necessarily have everything. I didn't know everything. So I accomplished a few things, and then I was like, man, I need to look at the list to see what I've done. Then I looked at the list and realized, I think at the time, I had knocked out 6 or 7 of those things. Knocked them out the park. Boom, done. And guys, I'm telling you, right, and you don't have to use this just for business. You can use it for your family, so you know, hey, Johnny needs to go to this on this day. I made an appointment and he needs to go on this. Like, you don't have to do it this way. Like, this organization, lack of organization, absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right? And I understand that a lot of us operate in a very unorganized manner, in a very undisciplined manner, and things like that. And for myself, I had to get away from operating. I'm trying to get away. I won't say I had to. I'm trying to get away from being scatterbrained and undisciplined in things, so that I can operate in the best capacity that I'm able to operate. And that combination right there, the Google Docs and ChatGPT, is just a banger of a combination to organize and increase your productivity. Right? It can give you a roadmap. If everything lives in your head, which for most people it does, if everything lives in your head, how are you going to operate? Right? If you don't make a habit of creating notes and doing it in an organized manner, right? And I think you've heard me say something like this before. But if you're struggling to stay organized, the question is who taught you how to be organized? Well, if nobody taught you how to be organized, then how are you going to operate in an organized manner? Like, organizing and having actionable items, it gives you a roadmap. It gives you a roadmap to whatever it is that you need or whatever it is that you've got going on. Now, here is here is what I'm saying. Without a roadmap, you're literally just guessing. And here's the thing. If you're doing business, right, and things like that, if you're listening to this, you probably are in some sort of business. If you're doing business, whether it be a barbershop owner, barber school owner, whatever. If you're doing business, you have things that need to be done, and you have things that need to be done in a very, very efficient and organized manner. Okay? That's just what it is. You can't, and this is the thing. If you're new to business, right? And so we talked about the roadmap and then just kind of guessing, like, If you don't have the roadmap gives you a guide to get to places that you've never been before. Okay? If you don't have that roadmap, you're going to get lost. You're going to get turned around. You're going to get mixed up. You are going to do those things. It's going to happen. I'm living testament that happens. You get all mixed up, especially trying to venture into a new territory. Even if it's somewhat familiar, if you're changing a role that you're doing, it's unfamiliar territory. And if you're not going to get that roadmap and follow the roadmap is there for a reason. That's like going, that would be, yeah. The roadmap is there for a reason, and you just have to really understand that. The roadmap is there for a reason, and it's there for you to follow the path. Right? Why waste time trying to reinvent something that has already been done? Please tell me. Why waste time? Someone else has a roadmap. You may not like their roadmap, but at least you have a general direction in which to go. You have a general direction in which to go, even if you don't like the map. But if you don't know where you're going, everybody wants to take a shortcut, right? And that's just a big thing. Everybody wants to take a shortcut or find their own way or do this, do that, do whatever. Doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense at all. First of all, if you've never been somewhere, how do you know that this shortcut is actually going to take you to the results that you want? I'm just saying, most shortcuts, most shortcuts come at the expense of something, right? I give you a prime example. We were, my family and I were traveling, and we were coming back. I don't remember where we were coming back from, but we were coming back from somewhere, and for some reason, we ended up on this like weird back road. Don't know where it was or anything like that, but it was actually it was a shortcut because we didn't want to ride on the main highway. The highway, something was going on the highway. We decided that the GPS rerouted us. Now, sometimes what people don't understand about taking shortcuts is that a shortcut a shortcut can actually be more damaging. Now, we were on this highway, and the speed limit was 55. Yeah, I think it was 55. Okay. We end up on this shortcut, this back road. We take this back road, and while we're riding down the road, and I'm driving a car, not a truck or anything like that. I'm driving a car. While we're on this shortcut, the road turns into a gravel dirt road. Still a shortcut, but now it's a gravel dirt road. And I'm looking around and I'm listening as the underbelly of the car Is getting beat up. It's flinging rocks. It's doing all of these sorts of things, right? And the only thing in my mind, I'm praying. I said, please don't cause so much damage that I have to put it in the shop. Don't cause that much damage, right? So where I was doing 55, now I'm on this gravel road doing 15, 25 tops. I'm on this road and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And what I had to understand is like, the roadmap told me I was on the best route. I was impatient because of traffic. That's what it was. I was impatient because of traffic. Right? And because of the traffic, I went along with, let's take this shortcut. Now, the vehicle that I was traveling in was taking on all of this undue and unneeded damage, right? Luckily, I didn't have to put it in the shop, but it was taking on all this undue and unneeded damage to save 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe. It wasn't much. It wasn't much time that it was saving. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Sometimes, like, when you don't know where you're going, and again, I didn't really know where I was going. I had been down that section of the highway a few times, but nothing great. But I'm like, oh, trying to get there so fast. Oh, I'm gonna take this shortcut. I'm gonna jump over here. I promise you. From now, if ever on that road and it suggests a shortcut, I will never take it again. Never. Absolutely not. Faster is not always better if it's not. Like, I took the vehicle took on undue damage. I took on unneeded stress for a shortcut. I thought the shortcut was supposed to be better. I don't know, guys. But anyways, hey, get organized, get your roadmap, follow your roadmap, figure out where you're going. Hey, and check out that Google Docs with the transcription and Chat GPT to organize your thoughts. A lot of us are struggling with that. Right? Struggling with the right mindset, struggling. Check it out. See what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night. It's episode 100. 100, 100, 100. We made it. Have a wonderful night. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Band of Barbers podcast.